Page 78, Largo, a theme from a symphony by Dvorák. I could make all kinds of suggestions here on fingering. I'm not going to. Just finger it the way they're showing you, alright? Let's just keep it fairly simple. I will make one minor suggestion. I got to do at least one, don't you know? For the right hand, over on page 79. In the second line in the first measure, they're showing a 2-5. You got to hold the B down. It's a half note. Like. Well, taken by itself, it's fine. The problem is you got notes before it. Look at the measure before it. The note before it is an A F sharp with 1-5. And we want to connect the F sharp to the E in that first measure of the second line. So we can't use fifth finger. It doesn't work. So I'm suggesting for the first measure of the second line, you do a 2-4 on that one. So we can connect the two. So if I play the note right before this one, the last note of the first line is here. And then I can go here at 2-4. I can connect them. And that's what I'm after. Then I do a 3. And then a 5. And then a 2. Like so. So slowly it's here, starting with the note before this measure. Here. I can connect it all with my hands. I know the pedal's down, don't care. I'm going to do it with the fingers anyway. That's what I suggest you do on that measure. The next measure is like the same, but you can go ahead and finger it the way they've got it because it fits. Okay. Now, for you purists out there who may be wondering what's going on, if you look at these two measures on page 79 in the second line, the first two measures, they're identical. You can look at either one, you don't have to look at them both. You will notice you have a half note B followed by a half note F sharp. Okay? However, the other voice that's going on, the top voice, that uses that B, uses the same note. Well, you're holding the note down for the other voice because the half note isn't over until that eighth note finishes. So it's like, what? So it's like, well, the top voice can't have that key because I'm already using it. And so this is one of the keep in mind this is an arrangement, this is an orchestral piece here. So what you can do is treat that half note like 1/8 note short of a full half note. It would be more like a dotted quarter note. Just hold it down for 1.5 counts. 1 and 2 and 1. Because you got to get off of it so the other voice can use it. 1. Okay. But as far as that harmony goes, it should be a full half note. The pedal's going to help you out here. Alright. So that 8th note B is actually serving both voices there. It's doing double duty for that. And that's how that's going to work. You'll see that from time to time. As far as the left hand goes, you'll just have to, again, do what they're suggesting on the fingering. I don't have any suggestions for you in the left hand. Just do it. I will point out on page 79, in the third line down on that first measure, for those triplet arpeggios, we're in 4/4 time. So it's like a 1, 2, 3, 4. And they group these triplets by the beat. So you see them, they're beams or bars that group them. There's 4 groups, 1 for each beat. So you got to play 3 of them, 3 notes per beat. 1 and 2 and 3, or triplet, triplet. Left hand plays the first one. Right hand plays the next one. Left hand plays the next one. Right hand plays the last. They're playing the same notes, just in different octaves. So you're playing these chords. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and like so. And then the next measure, there's a note above it, both hands 8 VA. So instead of here, you got to go here. You pretend middle C went up an octave, you're here. Okay, and you're going to stay there for 4 measures until the last 2 measures. There's a loco, L-O-C-O. They have in parentheses means as written. They don't need the as written. Loco means play it where it is, or down here. And that's what it is. You can do the dynamics. This starts out really, really, really soft. And at the end of the first line, you're going to grow into loud just temporarily, because at the beginning of the second line, you're back to really, really soft. And this whole piece, more or less, is soft until you get over to second line on page 79. Because now we're loud for 1 measure. And then the next, see, it's like an echo. The first measure of the second line on page 59 is here. Okay, the next one is like an echo. It's very soft. Okay, so when you add in the dynamics, it really makes this piece. It's gorgeous. Let's talk about the pedaling. I think the pedaling they're offering is a bit muddy. It makes it sound muddy. I think they're probably simplifying it for you in some respects. The first line is fine. You just pedal it the way they're showing. Second line, the first 2 measures are okay, but when we get to the third measure, this measure, I think that sounds terrible. It's all muddy. It's all yucky. Since this is a slow piece, it makes it a little easier to do. I'm going to suggest on that third measure of the second line and any other place like it that you do the legato pedal. You change the pedal on every beat. So it would be this way. You almost don't even need the pedal. Except we want to connect the 2 A's. And we don't want to break between those. So I would suggest just pedal on every beat. In the next measure, you pedal on the first 3 beats. You don't need to do it on the 4th because you're not doing anything. So it's here. That way we're not getting the muddiness happens for a 16th note. That's it. And we get off of it. Next line, same thing. And then in the next measure, the third line, second measure, now they're showing you every beat. And that's what I'm suggesting you do throughout this thing whenever they're doing this. Anytime it starts to feel muddy, change the pedal. Third or fourth line down, look at the first measure there. Again, they're doing what I suggested you do up above. They're changing the pedal on the first beats. Now, we like a little bit of silence between the breaks, but again, I'll leave that up to you. Listen to the orchestra play this, and how are they phrasing it? If I do the last line, first 2 measures, and I connect it like it's all one phrase, it sounds like this. 4. If I break the phrase like it's showing, it sounds like this. A4. So you decide what you like to do and go with it. I like a little break between the phrases myself. Top of page 79, again, pedal every beat that you're doing something, all right? Like they show in the last measure of the first line, they're pedaling, changing the pedal on every beat, and that's what I recommend you do. On the second line, again, pedal the first 3 beats. It's here. Okay, it's better than leaving it down for the 2 whole beats. It gets too much. Second measure, the same thing. Third measure, again, pedal the first one, and then the third beat. And the 4th, okay, because we don't want a lot of so it's here. And then the third line down, of course, you're going to hold the pedal down for the whole thing. then you can follow the pedaling from then on like they're showing you. It's fine. I want to talk a little bit about the rhythm. The rhythm here, for the most part, is straightforward if you understand dotted rhythms. If you don't understand dotted rhythms, good luck. But I do still want to talk about this on page 78, the second line on the first two measures. I'm just going to use the right hand for an example because both hands are playing the same rhythm. We have a 1 and 2 and 3 and, okay? The first measure is not too bad, I hope. But that second measure, you have an eighth note, that dotted half. So it's 1 and, so it's not what you think it is. So if you put the two measures together, it's, and I'm going to take out the ties for a minute. I'm going to play all the notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, okay? So that second measure is a tricky one. If I put the ties in, you just don't play the first beat. The first eighth note, you're hanging on to it. You play the second one. It's 1 and. So the two measures is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. Like so. So be careful on that one. They throw you a curve. On page 79, third line down, the last two measures. Let's look at those chords because those are weird. Starting with the right hand. Now keep in mind you're not here with the F sharp D, you're here. So the first one is F sharp D, I already told you that. Then you have a G sharp, D sharp. Isn't that fun? Then back to F sharp D. Now it's an F sharp D sharp. And then in the next measure it's a G D, and it's not so bad after that. Which is weird. On the left hand you have, not here, go up an octave here. So it is a D A, and then a B sharp, or G sharp. Weird, huh? Fun. Then a D A again, and then a B F sharp. And then you're back to normal. So you got to work these chords out very carefully on here because it sounds a little weird, but it works great. You know, so the problem you get is when the harmony starts sounding weird and you play a wrong note, you can't tell it. And so we have to be really, really, really careful about that. So let's try this out slowly. This is a slow piece anyway, so we're actually going to play it just about on speed, at speed. So I'll give us 4 counts and we'll come in and play this together. 1, 2, 3, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. 2, 3 and 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold till you go to sleep. 3 and 4 and off.